All right. So it is Monday and I'm back already. Actually, I took a break. I didn't upload anything yesterday. And here recently, I've been uploading content, at least before I got my strike. I've been uploading content just about every day. But I wanted to talk about this. I won't be too long, but I wanted to talk about this. And this will be something else I'm going to address as soon as I have my channel back, as soon as my strike is lifted. But I ran into this article that was uploaded today. I know I've talked about this a number of times, but now that my channel is not working, it's not operational, I feel like I have more time to focus and really hone in on some of these ridiculous articles. These types of articles always infuriate me because they're so ridiculous. And I really don't understand how people can go to college for a number of years to be educated on this stuff. It's truly amazing. Kittens, Isabel, Yusuf Mambo, shout out to you. Mutt Free World, Higher Ground. Some of these people go to school for 4-6 years just to graduate and spew this brainless, senseless, illogical nonsense. Stuff that just doesn't even make sense. Remarkable stuff, which basically means they just give degrees away. And the time you spend earning that degree is just for them to charge you a bunch of money, to put you in debt. You can spew a bunch of nonsense for free. Why pay for it? But I ran across this article today. It was published yesterday. The title, Adding to Their Distress, Dog Warning Over Signs Pet Could Be Likely to Attack. And that's a weird way of wording this article. But their point is that, you can see it in the subtitle, dogs show via body language when they are about to attack, an animal behaviorist has claimed. Okay, now let's listen to what this guy has to say.
Because what we're trying to alter is the attitude and the education of dog owners. And that's the crux of the problem. If people are not going to invest the time to study what sort of dog they want, and also we have the status dogs.
I'm sorry, I had to stop it already. He said if people are not going to invest the time to study what type of dog they want, wait a minute, what? Let's listen to that again.
Education of dog owners. And that's the crux of the problem. If people are not going to invest the time to study what sort of dog they want, and also we have the status dogs where people are buying dogs.
What does that mean? Invest the time to study what type of dog they want? How much study would it require? Why does everything they say sound so bizarre? It just sounds incoherent. Every bit of dog babble sounds incoherent, man. It is so frustrating.
The attitude and the education of dog owners. And that's the crux of the problem. If people are not going to invest the time to study what sort of dog they want, and also we have the status dogs where people are buying dogs for image. It's an extension of their ego. So to buying these large breeds.
Do you think it is image? Yeah, I just wonder if it is image. I mean, our opening item today was talking about knife crime, One poor woman who lost her grandson to a violent crime incident was saying, you know, the parts of the UK now, people are terrified. They carry knives for protection. By the same token, presumably they have a status dog, not just for status, but for protection.
Dog, they're talking about bully breeds. And he's saying a lot of these people get these dogs for image. And this guy says, maybe it's for protection. Having a dog for protection is illogical. If you have a gun or a knife, the difference is you have complete control over who gets stabbed or shot. With a dog, it has a mind of its own, and it's a very unstable mind, illogical mind. These things have a mentality that we don't understand. So it doesn't make sense to own a dog for protection. Most likely, and they actually do usually attack people that's not trying to attack the owner. Yet another piece of babble, dog lover babble, that gets thrown out here nonstop.
Well, I think that the status dog's been here for probably 20 years and increasing each year. There's more and more people, especially if you go into the inner cities like London, where I've spent most of my career. You see more and more people going around with bull-type breeds. And the ones I deal with in court, often in the defence, very few, if hardly any of the people have done what normal dog owners do, which is get a puppy, socialise it, introduce it to a local dog trainer.
Here you go with this socializing. Don't no other animal need to be socialized just so they won't attack people? They're not going to run that on me. I don't accept that. I'm sorry. That is rejected. Why are dogs the only creatures on this earth that needs to be socialized? Let me take the dog out so it can look at people and look at a bunch of people. Shut up. That is stupid. A bunch of dog nutter babble. That's what I view this as. Anything that needs to be socialized for an unknown period of time so that it doesn't attack people is a dysfunctional creature from the get-go that has no place in society. There's no defense for these things in society.
Training club. They seem to ignore all of that, and all their advice comes from their, if you wish, status club friends, the people who they got the dog off. It's bordering on like an underworld.
Man, what the hell are these people? Aren't dogs always around people? Is there ever a time when dogs are not around people? We have complete control over their existence. You can't say that about other animals. Dogs are the only animals that are constantly surrounded by humans. And yet these people want to drill into our heads that they need to be socialized. They're the most socialized so-called animals on this earth. They are in close proximity to humans far more often than any other animal on earth. And those other animals don't attack. I am not connecting the dots here. Now, this goofy article goes into something else. It says, canines communicate all the time with their bodies, and they're able to show when they are stressed or uncomfortable. Animal behaviorist Zita Polgar at Bristol Animal Rescue Center has shared 8 body language signals that show your dog is feeling stressed and uncomfortable. Speaking to the Mirror, she says, often what we perceive as friendly, playful gestures can in fact come from nerves or fear. Strike number 1. Strike number 1. That tells you right there this thing is too dangerous to be in society. All we as humans have is our own understanding of body language. Look at this. By trying to interact and play with them at these points, we could actually be adding to their distress. Well, dogs become distressed by any and everything. Sounds, movements, a new environment, a new surface that it walks on, grass, maybe even concrete. A creature that is allegedly filled with anxiety from so many things is a creature that has no business in society. Make sense out of this stuff. Why can't we make sense out of anything that they put out here? It's because you can't try to justify the presence of dogs in society without sounding like a complete lunatic. Look at this. Eventually, this could lead to aggression. If these subtle signs are not noticed and the perceived threat remains, the dog may progress to growling, snapping, or even biting. Now look at what this says here. But most dogs will react in at least one of the above ways first. So most dogs will attack first without growling, without showing these signs that it's going to attack. So what does that sound like? A creature you have no business being in possession of. Are you kidding? You cannot get any more dangerous than this. If you're talking about owning an animal, this sounds like the most dangerous animal you could possibly own. And they still want to try to justify and push these things off as family members. Boy, this dog lover rhetoric, it makes you want to discipline the people who put it out here. These people should be punished by the law. You should be thrown in jail for pushing rhetoric like this, propaganda like this. She says it's important, therefore, that dog owners keep an eye out for these signs and try to make their dog as comfortable as possible. How do you do that? When any and everything is said to fill them with anxiety and fear. How are you supposed to know what's causing stress and anxiety? Now, look at what she says here. Dogs yawn when they're tired, but they also do it in times of stress. Now, this is one of the warning signs. She says a dog that is stressed may often lick its nose or lips, or just repeatedly stick part of their tongue out slowly. What? Now, the last one is the kicker. She said dogs will also lick the person that they want to leave them alone. So if a dog wants you to leave it alone, it may lick you? This article came out yesterday. Why would anyone or anything lick something that they want to leave them alone? Does that make any sense? Most people would interpret a dog licking them as a dog that likes them. Why would you expect the general public to interpret that as a sign that the dog may attack you? I've never even heard of that. Have any of you heard of that? That a dog that wants to be left alone may lick the person or animal that it wants to leave it alone? I swear, these people come up with new propaganda every single day. At a certain point, you just have to reject all of this nonsense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I have 7 days. BK, shout out to BK, Lily, Jack, Louise. I believe my channel will be operational Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday or Sunday. What in the world? I thought I heard it all. I thought I heard everything that these people had to say. I thought I heard all the excuses. Evidently not. So a dog will lick the person or animal that they want to leave them alone. My goodness. My goodness. This is unbelievable stupidity. Animal behaviorist Miss Polgar claimed it was also important to pay attention to what may be causing the dog's problems and to remove those problems if they can. Again, how are you supposed to know when a mere gust of wind can fill these mutts with anxiety? Y'all remember we saw a dog all alone by itself in the forest, shaking and trembling. How are you supposed to know what's causing that stupid mutt fear and anxiety when nothing is around it? How are you supposed to know that the grass that it's walking on is causing it anxiety? These people are lunatics. The mere fact they're trying to push this onto the public, these people are lunatics. She said if your dog is displaying signals, it is stressed with a stranger who is trying to pet them, then ask the stranger to stop. How about you just not go around petting dogs? At a certain point, you have to say, look, stop, I've heard enough. Just keep these things out of our society. They're asking for too much. There are too many signs. There are too many triggers. There are too many body signals, body languages, gestures for anybody to keep up with. How about you just stop bringing them into society? That's the real solution. That's the real solution. Keep these things away from us. Let them starve to death. She said also, if a dog turns its eyes away from you so that you can see the white, we've heard this before. That's a sign that you might be attacked. That's a sign that the dog may want to attack you. Oh, the dog may not turn their whole head, but turning the eyes is usually a clear sign they want to escape a stressful situation. Just being close to someone will cause them stress. This dog is not a happy dog and needs some space. How about I pull out a baseball bat and whack a dog across the head because I needed some space? How about that? How about I use this excuse of being stressed out simply because a dog got too close to me? This is ridiculous. She said a dog will also bend their ears right back and slink away. Who in the world would want to keep up with all this nonsense? And that's the end of the article. Now let's take a look at this goofy. Let me not say that. Let me try to be polite. Let me be respectful here. Let's take a look at this dog behaviorist. But before we do, look at this. 10 signs your dog is hungry. The very first one is licking lips. People, they tell us that a dog that licks its lips may be stressed out and ready to attack. They list lip licking as a warning sign that a dog may attack. So if lip licking can mean a whole bunch of different things, how can you expect anybody to assume that it's stressed out and wants to attack someone? Maybe it's just hungry. Ain't this... Dogs do this stuff randomly all the time. Look at this one. Haven't we heard that a dog that's stressed out may yawn a lot? Well, here are some signs and symptoms to look out for, which might be an indicator that your dog is tired and needs rest. It yawns a lot. Boy, oh boy. So you see a dog yawning. You don't know if it's just tired or if it's ready to attack someone. Why would you yawn if you're filled with anxiety and stress and on the edge of attacking someone? That doesn't even make sense. That's an illogical body gesture for any living creature. Unbelievable. These people are all over the place with this propaganda. Look at this one. Dog yawning also seems to have emotional and sociological function. Simply put, dogs yawn when they are stressed. Wait a minute, I thought they yawn when they're tired, when they're ready to go to sleep. So a dog might be tired, it yawns, and then in response, you think it's about to attack someone, so you tell everybody to get out the house. You run for cover, even though the mutt was simply tired. Okay, now look at this. A dog could feel stressed when being hugged by a child. Why a child? Shouldn't it say being hugged, period? No, they included child and only a child. Why? So that could be used as an excuse when a child is attacked. And if that is a cause of stress, why do we see the Kennel Club and all of these other dog outlets, shelters all across the country, why do they promote kids hugging dogs? Everywhere you look, you see a child hugging a dog. Why do y'all promote that behavior? If your behaviorists say that it's stressful for a dog. Look at this. Having a stranger approach. So if approaching a dog can cause a dog stress, then why do you suggest to people to ask the owner before petting a dog? If you have to ask a owner if you could pet their dog, that means you approached the owner and its dog. Isn't that right? So why would you advise people to pet a dog that was just in a potentially stressful situation by having this stranger walk up to them? Am I nitpicking? Am I nitpicking or am I making sense? Boy, these people are all over the place. They're all over the place. They cannot be consistent for anything. Being restrained or held tightly. Restrained. You mean like being on a leash? Isn't that the law? Now you're telling us that a dog being on a leash can cause it stress. Boy, oh boy. These people don't know what to believe. Why dogs yawn when you pet them? If your dog is yawning when you pet it, it's not because it's relaxed. It's because it's excited that you're giving it attention. What? So now the dog yawns because it's excited that you're giving it attention. It's not yawning because it's stressed. It's not yawning because it wants to attack. It's yawning because it's happy that you're giving him attention. Oh. This only adds to the case why dogs should be illegal to own. These lunatics clearly are trying to refer to any and everything as a trigger. Any and everything they can think of. They're saying, oh, that's a trigger. That's a trigger too. That's a trigger too. So that when dogs actually attack, they can say, there was a trigger somewhere. Something happened. What in the world are you? What does dog yawns mean? Yawning is also a type of appeasement gesture. Dogs yawn to deflect a threat. Okay, so now it yawns because it wants to get away from you. It wants to avoid you. They say it's a dog's way of saying that he feels threatened or anxious. But look at what it wrote. But that he is not going to attack. Y'all see that right there? They're saying that a dog yawning, it yawns because it doesn't plan on attacking you. What? All these different articles saying that yawning is what a dog does when it's stressed and may be on the edge of attacking. That's a sign that it's stressed and that it might bite you. And the spruce turns around and says when it yawns, it could be a sign that it feels threatened and anxious, but that it's not going to attack you. They say dogs use this type of body language to avoid conflict. I give up. I give up. These are your experts. These people went to college for years to come out and spew this rhetoric. So if yawning, lip licking can mean a number of different things, why would you expect the general public to assume that the dog is about to attack if it could be yawning and licking its lips for a number of different reasons? Why dogs lick their lips? Huh? They might lick their lips because they anticipate a meal, appeasement, anxiety, health issues. This is why I give up. Now, this is that dog behaviorist that was quoted in that article, Zita Polgar. Now, I told y'all, dog behaviorists should not be dog lovers. She's a certified shelter behaviorist, animal welfare researcher. What? Everything is about dogs. Hashtag end BSL. End breed specific legislation. She is a pro pit bull lover. She supports the continued mutilation of children and babies. That's all that means. These people who want to end breed-specific legislation are people who simply support the continued mutilation of the helpless. You cannot make this stuff up, people. You can't make this stuff up. Now, this woman has been quoted in multiple articles. This was another one. You see her name here? Zita Polgar. She reveals warning signs a dog is about to bite. Look at what she listed: yawning, blinking, and nose licking. Blinking? Man, oh man. Now, y'all remember what I said a while ago, that these people will refer to as many things as possible to defend the dog. Isn't that what this sounds like? Blinking? I thought that was like a necessary thing for all living things with eyelids to do. I thought that was a way to maintain moisture in the eye. This woman who has gone to college, she said blinking. Yeah, their mouth is always open. They're always licking their lips. Non-stop. Boy, oh boy. This is infuriating. Rhetoric like this is infuriating. Information is supposed to make sense. When you give an explanation for something, it should make sense. Yeah, they contradict themselves nonstop. And it's surprising how often they contradict, because they never catch themselves. They never catch the contradictions and say, oh, wait a minute, let's eliminate this because it's a contradiction. No. These people are just, I really can't explain it. Yawning, blinking, and nose licking, she says, is a sign that the dog is about to attack. It's blinking its eyes. Oh, you better get away from it. It's yawning. Oh, it's blinking. Uh-oh, wait a minute. It's not making eye contact. Oh, it's turning away from you. She listed no eye contact and turning away from you as a sign the dog is about to bite. Why would anybody assume that a dog that looks away and walks away is planning to attack? Why would anybody assume that? It makes no sense. And because it doesn't make sense, nobody should be in possession of one of these things. That's the only thing that makes sense, isn't it? If all these things are true, then the only thing that makes sense is that you ain't got no business in possession with one of these. Look at this. Walking away. Ears back. Creeping. Tucked tail. Really? Really? That is a lie, people. That is a lie. A tucked tail means that you're relatively safe, because that means the dog is afraid. She's saying it's a sign that the dog is about to bite. I don't believe that. Didn't we already research the information and the film that says that when a dog is about to attack, it will hold its tail straight up. It will hold its tail upward, and it may even wag its tail while holding it upward. Y'all remember we went over that information? The tail will be either upright and motionless or upright and wiggling. Now she's saying if the tail is tucked, then it's about to bite. Doesn't it sound like they're trying to refer to any and everything they can think of as a sign it's about to bite? That way, when it does attack, they can say, oh, well, you didn't notice the warning signs first. These people are infuriating. They're infuriating. Frozen. Unresponsive. She said lying down. So a dog that's lying down, she's saying it's not lying down because it's tired, because it's comfortable, because it's not concerned. No, she's saying that's a sign that it's about to bite when it lays down. Oh my God. I can't with these people, Deanna. My thoughts exactly. I just can't with these people. Yeah, what about breaking wind? If all of these other things are a trigger, then most definitely if you break wind, that's a trigger. If you drop something, that's a trigger. Anything you do. If you're sitting perfectly still and you suddenly stand up or move or reach for something, that has to be considered a trigger as well. People have done things like that and been attacked as a result. So this is hypocritical. They contradict themselves. It makes no sense. But the only thing that makes sense is that if a dog is really triggered and really displays all of these signs before they're about to attack, that means nobody should be in possession of them. Not even a so-called expert will be able to spot warning signs like this. And the truth is, these mutants don't display any of this nonsense. And notice how she already said that most dogs will attack first without showing any warning signs at all. Exactly. Just you being present has to be a trigger. A new strange person who walks into the room, that has to be a trigger. If all these things are triggers, then everything is a trigger. And to see society coddle to these deranged, dysfunctional mutants and project them as the most loving creatures on the planet is disgusting. It's disgusting. And they wonder why some people like us don't want to come inside of their home. Obviously, after going over all of this, after going over all this information that we've gone over, everybody should hate dogs. Everybody should hate these brain damaged, dysfunctional mutants. Why would anybody love something like this? Boy, that is a creature that deserves to be hated and does not deserve anything from us. No food, no water, no shelter. The only thing these things deserve is to be exterminated. The only thing they deserve is to be at the Yulin Festival, providing the public with meat. It's the only thing they're good for. And shout out to the Yulin Dog Meat Festival. I believe it took place last week. Right? That's a glorious moment in time. Every year, they say tens of thousands of dogs are killed. Good. Hell, tens of thousands of other animals are killed on a daily basis for their meat. I'm not about to show sympathy for no mutt. So, if this is a part of the program, if this is a behaviorist that I decide to reach out to, where do you start? When you got this much rhetoric, when you got this much nonsense to unpack, where do you start? Incredible stuff. Now let me show you this woman's Twitter that I just found, and I decided to follow her on Twitter. I've chosen the craziest people in society to research. I don't know why. I don't know what came over me. This is her Twitter. Let's see if I can increase this. And this is what I'm saying. If you're some type of behaviorist, you should not be biased towards dogs. Why would you? I mean, she puts NBSL everywhere. Where's her family? Nothing but dogs, bully breeds. I know these people hear about these attacks when they happen. They have to. It doesn't change them at all. It has no impact on them at all. They never get to a point where they say, look, these things are too dangerous. I mean, after all, dogs are the only creatures on the planet that attack babies and kids. Nobody's supposed to attack babies and kids. Nobody and nothing. And just because dogs are the only creatures that do attack babies and kids, we should hate dogs with every drop of blood in our body. And that is me. I hate the very shadow of a worthless mutt. And I cannot stand the people who love these things. I'm sorry. I cannot stand these people. I hope they change. I genuinely hope they change and stop being dog nutters. But until they change, I despise these people. Because they open the door. They enable the dogs to attack. They make these attacks possible. If nobody wanted to be a dog owner, they wouldn't be in our communities to attack anyone. So I have not seen this woman's family, have not seen her boyfriend. I doubt she has one. Or at least she does not have a human lover. And this is, I mean, you can't ignore the fact that many of the people we dealing with are people who are intimate. We're dealing with, a lot of these people are just flat out zoophiles. And this is a part of their life to endanger the public and to harm our health, to allow these things to intoxicate our air and water, and just turn our society in general into a doghouse. You know, when the air outside is contaminated with dog feces, they've turned the whole society into a doghouse. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I can't with these people. That is enough attention given to these people for one day for me. So if you think of anything that I may have forgotten to point out, please share in the comment section. Big shout out to everybody who's able to join me for this brief rant. Ban all dogs in the building, Moochie and Derek Smith, Jack Spratt in the building. And I hope you all are able to join me on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.